Hello and welcome back, and welcome to the month of December. I am here with the man who hasn't found his pocket yet since he dropped it in middle school. How you doing, Trent?
Doing good. Hopefully, I found a little bit better mic quality this episode than last episode.
Yeah, it was
Things
first
happen.
time. Yeah, if you guys didn't catch it, we recorded in person. It was a good episode, but we haven't done like a in person audio recording. I probably goofed a few settings, and oh
It's all good.
well.
It was a good episode. I
Yeah,
recommend listening to it anyways.
yeah. But we got a good show for you guys today, Trent. What do we got?
So we're gonna get all caught up on Invincible. We
Mm-hmm.
haven't watched the last couple episodes, or we did watch the last couple episodes since we last talked. So we're gonna talk all about that. We're gonna talk about what we're expecting to come up in the next half of the season, where things are gonna go. Then we're gonna hop into some couple news headlines, and then I think we're gonna close off the show with talking about some movies that are coming out in December.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a bit lighter show in terms of agenda, but trust me, there's a lot in here. So we're gonna go ahead and just get straight to it with some Invincible. We
Yeah,
got episodes 3 and 4 to go over, but the biggest thing is this is the mid-season finale, which feels like it came so quick,
yeah,
and I have so many questions. But uh, about the episodes themselves, as usual, pretty, pretty, pretty damn good.
yeah. Pretty fucking good. Uh, lots of story in both of these episodes. There's a lot of world building too, I think, and I like the places that we went in these two episodes.
Yeah, I think a better, like, almost a better term would be universe building in the sense
Yeah,
of they really start getting into the more cosmic side of it. Episode 3, I believe it is, or I'm not getting 3 and 2 mixed up. It starts with Seth Rogen's alien character that I can't
yeah.
remember his first name.
Alan the alien.
Alan the alien, and it almost looks like it's gonna be a full like hour of Alan the alien the way
Yeah,
they
I thought
kind
it
of
was gonna be.
introduce it. And I was hyped for that. Don't get
Yeah,
me
me
wrong,
too.
but it ends up being short lived. Obviously, spoilers. If you haven't watched Invincible, please watch Invincible. This time is more talking to the fans of Invincible about what we think's going on and how we feel about it. Less about reviewing. So I
Yeah,
don't have any great critiques of Invincible right now.
yeah.
It's just so solid, but they absolutely. Oh wait, whoa. Let me redo that because I had a really good segue. I could have said, "Yeah, it's so solid." Unlike Alan the Alien's brain, as he got punched and
So,
murdered,
yeah, brutal.
and and it's not how you expect. He like so obviously, if you've seen the episode, there the Viltrumites run up on him because he has one figured out that Mark exists, and he's also kind of getting suspicious of the council and
Hmm.
how they seem to know what's going on. They seem to be very just defensive and just overall not a great vibe. So he's like, there's something going on here. And there's this like wise guy who's like, oh, I'm really wise. And you trust him because he's so wise and he says some wise things, but he ends up being the mole. He ends up telling Alan, "Hey, I need you to find the mole," and then he gets killed, or we think somehow he's still alive, just on life support,
Yeah,
and the that wise one just comes in and just like pulls the plug.
yeah. I mean, like we saw in the last episode, that one Viltrumite just holding all of his guts in his shirt while he's still fighting. So
Yeah,
anything's possible. It feels like with these Viltrumites and these other aliens.
yeah, yeah. That's true. I mean, he was not in good shape. He had his eyeball popped
No,
out,
no.
which is really unsettling. There
Yeah,
was a really cool shot. You don't really get it in media because it's hard to do space shots of just like his whole body being like dismantled basically by these Viltrumites, and just like the eeriness of seeing him just float in the air, just lifeless as they
yeah,
fly away. It was a crazy scene. It was really cool. I wish he had a bit more offense in, but I think that's, the creators really trying to show us these Viltrumites. They mean business, and they are stupidly powerful.
Yeah, and like everybody seemed to like Alan the Alien, so it was kind of like it kind of felt like he was gonna, like, since I hadn't read the comics, it really seemed like he was gonna be like a side character for a while, and then just seeing him get brutally murdered really shows like how just how brutal the Viltrumites are.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that was something that surprised me. I thought maybe they would deviate from the comics a bit, just with how popular he was, and you have a voice like Seth Rogen, and you're like, you're not gonna just kill him off, but they sure did. Obviously, maybe there's an outside chance that he's still alive, but normally pulling the life support plug is you're out. There's no coming back from the life support plug.
Yeah, it really
plug
seems
pull.
like he's pretty much gone.
But we finally get some Omni-Man action. We get to see him for the first time since the end of season 1. And it's kind of in a ruse of sending one of the ant guys down. He transforms into Seance Dog, which is like a Doctor Strange looking dog that is a fictional comic book in this universe. So
I like
Mark sniffs
Doctor
it out.
Strange.
Wait, what? What?
Doctor Strange. That's what I've been calling him.
Okay, yeah, we can get with that. I like Seance Dog. It's kind of just Seance Dog, but it works. Anyways, dude, they tell this lie about how there's asteroids hitting it, and you're the only person strong enough to save us in the entire galaxy. They go to the planet. He's like, oh, this seems kind of sus. And it was sus, as Nolan is there. And I had this bit, like, not spoiled because I, like, was interested. I have the comics, and I intentionally kind of stop reading at a certain point because I don't want to, like, have it entirely spoiled for me. But I did read up until the point where, like, I figured out what happened to Nolan. And so I knew it was coming, but the way they did it was really nice. I thought it was
a really good reveal.
Really super solid. And in the comics, I did not, like, he never redeemed himself to me, or at least his reasoning never felt good. I don't know if it's just that good old J. Jonah Jameson in him, but when he talks, I listen, and Nolan has completely redeemed himself to me. I don't care about the thousands of lives that he killed. He's completely redeemed in my eyes. Just because, like, at the end of the day, the easiest thing for him to do would be just to capitulate and just kind of go with what the Viltrums want. But there's something in him that's like, I just gotta repopulate and be a dad. He's just dad by nature.
Yeah, I don't know if I totally agree that he's redeemed. There's certainly, like, an element of him when Mark says, like, this is how you should have felt for the people on Earth. Like that feel like it really kind of, like, made him put a new perspective on things. But I don't know.
Well, when I say that, I'm obviously joking a little bit here.
Yeah.
But however, I think there is an argument that he gave his life for that planet, and, like, not great, but I will say, on Earth, he saved more lives than he killed. I'm guessing. They didn't show that.
Yeah,
we don't know that. I'm just guessing because he was there for 20 years and he's like fucking Omni-Man.
He also killed the Guardians of the Globe, which they would have saved a lot more people than, because they didn't save a lot of people that they could have because of Omni-Man killing them.
Right. But have you seen his mustache? Like
his Hitler mustache? That's true.
See, that's all I need is strong facial hair. That's all I really need to redeem someone in my eyes. If you have, like, a squirrely face and you come back with some strong facial hair, like, I'll listen to you. I think that's what a lot of politicians are missing today. And I listen to Nolan as he goes on about how he cares about these ants and how he hates that he cares about these ants.
Yeah.
There's a point where he's trying to hide in a cave. They find him, and there's that ensuing fight where the dude's guts get ripped off and stuck into a wall.
Yeah.
But he gets out and he sees everything that he was once emperor of for a little bit. They move fast. Sees it all destroyed, and he just feels really conflicted because he doesn't want to care about these literal insects. Well, I don't know if they're literal insects. They're completely different life forms on a completely different planet, like classifications, whatever. But like these creatures that live a tenth of the time, 100th of the time, 1,000th of the time that he does, and he doesn't understand why he cares about them. And you get to hear that in his voice with a great performance. And I'm really excited to see what they do with Nolan's character. If you're talking about in-universe, probably not completely redeemed. However, I think he'll get there just based on the fact that there's no way Mark is going to be able to fight these Viltrums.
Oh yeah, I really wonder what's going to happen to Omni-Man because he's just not in good shape at all right now.
But they can't kill him like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I don't know. Maybe Mark will go to, I don't know. He's got to read the books first. We got to see what's in those books.
Yeah, as Nolan's getting pulled away, he says, "My books, Mark, my books." And I do got to say, I do understand where his mom's coming from with wanting to get rid of them, but it really isn't her choice without Mark there. Like, it kind of seems like she made the decision, and that decision should have been to have the conversation with Mark. Because, I'm sure he would have been completely on board with it before this trip, so maybe she just didn't think. But it is, a big decision, and, his books. My books, Mark.
Yeah, you got to read my books, Mark.
What do you think's in those books?
Maybe it's like some sort of autobiography of him, or maybe it's like his stories of like him conquering worlds or something, or learning how to actually use like his powers. That's what my first guess was.
So they talk about it like they're published books.
Yeah.
Like they're available for everybody. So I have to assume there's some hidden subtext.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like maybe it's like a sci-fi story, but it's actually just Nolan's life.
Or like he tells the story of how to destroy the Viltrums.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he's like the secret to destroying the Viltrum Empire is in those books secrets, or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. I do wonder if he, like during his time raising Mark, he kind of decided that he wanted to abandon post because he took 20 years. It sounds like from the sounds of it from the other Viltrums, like he wasn't supposed to take as long as he did. Now there is the aspect of it took Mark a minute to get his powers and all that stuff, but I don't necessarily think he like spent 20 years just faked it. I think it did like get to him a bit.
Yeah.
And maybe something in those books kind of explains like just his thought process or something like that. I do hope that they don't, because they show her putting the books on the street corner. I just hope they don't act like he can't get the books. That would be a pretty stupid scene of him just
he's got to go to Barnes and Noble to try to find every issue of Omni-Man's books.
Okay, that would be actually a banger scene. I take it back. Let's do it. Let's do it. But Adam Eve gets more play in these 2 episodes, and if there's any complaint I have about this break, which I have plenty of them, mainly I don't want to take a break, but if I have to take a break, my biggest complaint from a storytelling point of view is I don't know what's going on with Adam Eve, and I don't know what I'm looking forward to with Adam Eve.
Yeah. She just kind of she's just kind of off doing her own like saving stuff, like she like it always just shows her like saving a cat out of a tree metaphorically, but like saving a car, or just like doing random things, and it doesn't. Maybe her arc will make sense later, but
It
not
seems
sure.
like it's all about death, right? And I don't understand where they're going with it, but I mean, both subplots we've been introduced to are Rexplode losing Multicate, and the reason being is he's the only one that understands me because he's the only one that has died as much as I have, which is a interesting thing to bond over. I don't know how you even discuss such a thing, but whatever. I've never died before, so I don't know. And Eve is dealing with the being responsible for other people's deaths. Like she killed like that single mother and her daughter by building a park over a sinkhole, which I feel like you could say is her fault. I understand saying it's her fault, but if there's a fucking sinkhole there needs to be a sign up. Like there was no sign or anything. You can't just be like, "Oh, there's a reason the city hadn't built on it." Put a sign. There's a sinkhole. Like,
Yeah,
and then it looks like she gets another couple killed by just being randomly like aggressive towards the cannon arm guy, just like wanting to like fight him on this like really crowded bridge. She's like, "Oh, come
yeah,
on," which I thought was a strange
yeah.
thing for her character to do. But in both of those instances, in those two like scenes they showed, she was responsible for multiple deaths. Or I guess we don't know if that couple has died yet, but I'm guessing, and this is just what I feel like they're alluding to by her like saying, "Oh, Mark, where's Mark? I texted Mark, but he hadn't gotten back to me." Kind of seems, and she seems to be distancing herself from her human friends, almost in a way of like, "Oh, humans don't understand me," or like non superheroes don't understand what it's like.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this is going to be the catalyst for the Eve and Mark relationship, because I don't know if they're just completely going away from that, but in the comics, Eve and Mark are like a thing.
Hmm.
But also, I kind of came to the realization today, or not today, but while watching it, that Amber, the character, is like completely intentional. Like
Like, what do you mean?
everything, like all of the backlash, all of the things that people hate about her are like completely intentional. Like
It's
it's
like
just
fabricated. They
like
want people to hate her.
yeah, they want people to hate her. That's her role in his growth almost. Like the things she says and like the way she does stuff.
Yeah.
And there's like a line during the graduation scene where she's like, "Oh, I would never ask you to put lives over me or prioritize saving or being here over saving lives," or something. Basically, exactly directed at all of that criticism, and she did do that. So it's almost like she's there intentionally, just like,
Yeah.
oh, like
As
fuck
just a
yeah.
place to make people like make the fans almost evolve the storyline.
It seems like we know that, or at least the comic fans are like, oh, when is are Eve and Mark gonna get together? And
Adam Eve is the end game.
yes, it is the end game. And how do we get there? I think they're doing it really, really well, because like Mark loves Amber. Like he says that he feels like love for her. He feels very strongly about her, and I think we're gonna get a little bit of a like heartbreak where she breaks his heart, and then there's like a scare. Is he gonna give up on humanity? Is he gonna just go and kill them all or something? Side
Yeah.
with the Viltrums, like while
Yeah.
he's down there, and his mission is to take over Earth. Maybe something happens with her, and he's like, maybe I should just take over Earth. Maybe I should just help them. And then maybe that's when Eve comes in. She's like, humanity.
Yeah.
life, society. We live in one.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what would happen. What's going to happen.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out in
Also,
looks like.
we didn't talk about Mark's brother.
Oh, right.
Mark just has a brother now.
A brother that ages 3 times faster, something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be 10 times.
But he's also purple.
But he's purple and he's Viltrum. And he gets to pick his own name. So he doesn't have a name yet.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of there, just kind of booling. I imagine they're going to do some fun stuff with it.
Yeah.
With the time. I think we're going to get a time jump when we come back. Like, it's not going to be just taking place right at the moment that he leaves him on that planet. I think he's going to be on Earth and the kid's going to have grown up a little bit.
You think Mark's going to take the kid back to Earth?
I think he has to, right?
Yeah, the kid's alive at the end of it. And
yeah,
everyone else is dead. Did the mom die?
I don't think so. I think she's alive, but maybe there'll be a scene of her like dying, and then she's like,
"Yeah,
take him."
Yeah.
So I can see that, and they're gonna do something fun with him. But we get another Viltrum that ages way faster than Mark. So he's basically like a 6-month-old, but he's like a newborn. So I guess he'd probably be, by the time he gets back to Earth, he'd probably be like 2 or 4 years old. So it'll be fun seeing how that's animated.
Yeah. From the Viltrumites' perspective, they gotta just be like, damn, Omni-Man really just trying to just get around.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, dude's just obsessed with fathering. He's just like, I'm on this planet. What am I gonna do? Father something. That's all I got. But that's where we get left off with Invincible, and we'll pick back up in January of 2026 for the next 4 episodes. So that'll be fun.
Yep.
And maybe we'll have the entire comic run done by the 2050s. You just got to stay tuned and find out.
Yeah. And they said that the breaks between seasons aren't going to be as long as the first break. So that's good. And I hope that they work on the animation a little bit. I know that the animation is fine, but I think that it's definitely got a lot of room to improve.
For sure. I have a tough time with the animation, not because I dislike it or love it a ton, but it does look unique when I'm watching it. Like, I don't like, even in that faux anime style that Avatar popularized. It's not quite that. It's more janky, but it also has these very grand shots. It's interesting. And I kind of love it, but I understand what you mean. I think animation and like AI as well is going to be big for animation, and it really comes down to where people fall in that. Like, because in my head it's like, okay, if I'm hand drawing animation, and I have five five frames that I have, and obviously 5 frames is going to look like a pretty choppy animation. But then if you could use AI to kind of smooth those frames between the frames, like, to me that makes like just logical sense. Like, I already have the art that I want done. I just want the smaller parts to just be done instantly. And it kind of feels like we're on that revolution of, hey, animation might get not cut in half, but like 25% like production time from that. But there's so many things with that, and who knows if that's as easy as it sounds in my head. So.
Yeah. And they spend so goddamn much on the cast each season. There's so many people in the cast that I feel like they could put a little bit more money into the animation.
Yeah. At least get it out quick if it's going to look like that. That's my thing, is you can't make me wait 2+ years or whatever it was. Can't make me
Yeah.
wait all that time and have the animation look kind of stilted. It's a little bland, but like there's also shots that are some of the best that we've gotten in the whole series. So
Hmm.
hot and cold, and I don't think it would be so much of a bother if I just had enough content.
Yeah.
But alas, not enough content, so we have to sit here and talk about it on a podcast. And speaking of talking about it on a podcast, you got some headlines to go over.
Yep. So last week we talked about Avengers 5. We talked about how they dropped the writer and the director. So Marvel's looking for a new director, and there is just one big name out there that people are saying.
Who's that?
Sam Raimi, apparently, which I really don't think that he's gonna do an Avengers movie.
I don't understand that. I guess Multiverse of Madness is one of the better movies of this phase, but I don't understand that. It's
I
just,
don't understand either. It's just not his vibe, you know?
yeah, it's tough where we're at this point. I don't know who. Like, there's one guy that I know could knock this out of the park, and he's a bit busy with DC right now. So it's tough because you have to develop so many characters in this movie.
Yeah.
And you have to make them likable. You have to somehow, I don't know. Like, Marvel has set them up so rough here.
Yeah.
Like,
So along with that, we have apparently our new writer for the movie. It's Michael Waldron who did Loki season 1, not Loki season 2. Apparently there was a writer who came in at the end of Loki and like rewrote part of season 1, and that wasn't him. So very, very curious decision on why they went with somebody who wrote the first season of Loki that they had to rewrite.
he also wrote Multiverse of Madness. So maybe
that's right.
So maybe that's the Sam Raimi connection as well. I don't know. I didn't love Multiverse of Madness. I think
the writing specifically was kind of all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if there's one thing about that movie is like the directing's pretty good. Like the shots, it looks good. It's just like if you show me a scene out of context and tell me why are they doing this? Yeah. What is happening? What is how did they get here and how do they leave? I could not tell you.
Yeah. Or
things just happen.
Illuminati scene where just nobody's in the same room.
Yeah, that one's tough. Yeah, I don't know why they thought to do that if they couldn't, like, just get. Especially if you're just gonna kill them off. What's the point in these these big actors if you're just gonna kill them off right there? Like, just get some bald guy and stick him in a wheelchair if you want to, like, just kill everyone. Like,
yeah. So yeah, very curious decisions. Kind of makes me a little bit anxious about Avengers 5. We'll see who they get with the director. I don't know if there's really much truth behind this Sam Raimi rumor, which I'm sure that's probably just a name that they're just like, who made a movie for us before? John Watts. Oh, he's probably busy doing Spider-Man 4. What about Taika Waititi? Oh, everybody hates him now. People don't like Love and Thunder. How about James Gunn? Oh, he's doing DC. How about Sam Raimi?
It's gonna be so funny when people realize that Taika Waititi is a good director and I understand.
Did you see what he said this week? I guess it's not really news.
Is it that I only did Thor for a paycheck?
Yeah, it was so stupid. That's such a dumb headline.
Yeah, like, of course he did Thor for a paycheck. Most directors do movies for paychecks.
Yeah,
like,
very dumb.
What did they expect him to say? Oh yeah, I was just so passionate about the Thor character.
Thor's my favorite character.
Thor. I had a Thor poster in my dorm in college. Like, come on, it's Thor. It's Thor 3 and 4. Like, come on. You had to like they were looking for anybody to do those movies. And I think that was one of their best gets was Taika Waititi. Now, I don't 100% know what happened with Love and Thunder. I think they just
I
did
think
the
that was like a
wrong
result
story.
of like I think that was filmed during like the lockdown, and
Right.
it was in Australia, and I think that they said that they filmed like 4 hours worth of material for that, and so they were just kind of just cutting together. They were kind of just improvising and just cutting together stuff. It really seemed like.
Yeah. And like it's shot pretty well. Like for like Taika Waititi was never like an action director.
Yeah.
Like that was never what you wanted Taika Waititi on a movie for. And he's kind of gotten pretty decent at that. Like there's some really good shots. I think Eternity, the way Eternity looks, I don't know who's responsible for that, but it looks pretty cool at the end of that
Yeah.
movie.
That was one of
Just
the better scenes in the movie.
the writing of Love and Thunder, just the writing in general, and
Yeah.
it's definitely upsetting. If they wanted to set a tone, and I think it was Bob Iger came out and was like, we're really gonna focus on quality over quantity going forward. Like just get like the biggest names. Like I don't care if they have to completely retcon like 6 things in the MCU to make
Yeah.
it what they want to make it, but like at what point do you realize you're going to spend $600-700 million just in production of this movie alone and you can't
Yeah.
afford a flop here?
Yeah. Or another crazy concept, just do original ideas. Like start a new original franchise. Like Avatar was an original franchise back in 2009, and both of those movies made $1 billion.
Yeah. Is Wish not an original franchise to you?
No, it's not, because have you
It's-
heard about the ending of that movie?
What does fucking Cinderella come in wearing an eye patch, putting together
No,
a
one of the
team?
characters turns into Cinderella, and then one of like more of the characters turn into the dwarves, and then another character turns into like what is it, the mirror from Cinderella. So all the characters just turn into like the Disney characters from the other movies.
Jesus, in the movie, not like an after
Yeah,
credit
no, this
thing.
is this is like at the end, like the end of the movie. Like they all go their separate way, and they all go into their different Disney movies from the
Oh,
the
so like
1900s.
wait, they're saying like in canon, like these are where these characters came from?
Yeah.
That's kind of unreal, but like why?
And it's supposed to be like a celebration of 100 years, but they're just telling the backstory of all these characters that nobody needed a backstory for.
In a kids movie?
Yeah.
Like all right, Disney.
Yeah.
Go crazy. They're definitely on one right now, and I think with just the way the industry is, they can't keep getting away with the shit they were getting away with.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I think Disney is probably the most interesting like entertainment entity to watch going forward. And it's kind of completely flipped on its head from 5-6 years ago where they could do no wrong.
Yeah.
Everything was good. such a crazy period of time where like it was looking forward to like the next like Marvel movie was such a thing.
Yeah.
Like
You don't know you're in the good old days until they're gone.
you're like there's 3 or 4 a year, and
Yeah.
that's all you got.
That stretch of it was like Homecoming, Ragnarok,
right.
Black Panther, and then Infinity War. Like that was just like something else, dude.
Disney's Linsanity run for sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if those movies came out today if I would feel the same way about them, just because like I feel like we're so much more cynical about like what media is and can be. But seeing like just like Spider-Man, and I'm talking about this like it was 20 years ago, it was 2016 or something, but
Yeah.
it's just it's crazy how much the world has changed just in that small period of time.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Yeah, public perception or perception. So Netflix. This came out. This came up like a couple months ago. This headline, which kind of took me off guard. So said Netflix has made a deal with Rockstar, the gaming company, to add higher to add higher end games to their library. Now, what does that mean? So apparently, on December 14th, there will be 3 playable GTA games on Netflix.
Like the Netflix. Okay, so they're getting into cloud gaming.
I guess so, but I guess you're gonna have to play with a remote.
Like with my Roku remote.
Yeah, with your Roku remote. So this is just wild.
So it's what are we thinking? It's probably just gonna be 3 San Andreas and
Vice City. Those are the 3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's just the classic GTA games that have been ported to everything under the sun. I remember I had an iPhone 3GS, and when San Andreas came out on that, just grinding that and making no progress because you're playing on an iPhone 3GS that was like that big.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I just don't see the appeal of like some old ass games that pretty much anybody that cares about them has played in a superior way than on the Netflix platform.
Yeah, I just don't see how anybody's gonna like sit down and be like, oh, let's watch a movie, scrolling through Netflix. Oh, what's this? GTA 3. Let's hit play. Oh, this is a video game. Let's just sit down and play it.
Yeah, what are they
I'm
trying
really
to
interested
do?
I'm interested to see like what the numbers are a month after that comes out. See, like GTA heads aren't clicking on that.
No, because GTA heads have played San Andreas 3 and Vice City a million times. Any person that's like, oh, I'm a big time gamer, can play those games, has played those games. There's no interest and intrigue around those games anymore. So why are you trying to use them as your big, like, you genuinely would be better off. Like there's this. I'm in an office with a bunch of like 18-year-olds, right? There's this game that it's just like Tetris but with watermelons. Like put that on there. Like
you're Candy Crush.
Yeah, just put like casual games on there. Those might get grandma to like waste a few hours on her Netflix. I don't think grandma's going to just be playing a few missions of GTA in between her episodes of Gilmore Girls. I just don't see that.
Yeah. So that was pretty wild. That was the last news line I had for you. So I think we're gonna jump in now to some movies that are releasing in December.
Yeah. So before that, I guess this is a movie releasing in December. I just wanted to talk about this one. It's a movie.
Oh,
yeah. It's a movie coming out. It is made by the Daily Mail. DailyMail.com. Daily Wire. Sorry, not Daily Mail. Daily Wire Plus, which is like this conservative news thing that's all about free speech as long as it's within their guidelines. And the star is Jeremy Boring, like no joke, spelt Boreing, Boring. And this is what his IMDb reads here. Jeremy Daniel Boring is an American director, screenwriter, and producer. Boring is the co-founder and co-CEO of Daily Wire Plus and is responsible for all content produced by the company, including the movie that uncanceled Gina Carano, Terror on the Prairie.
Oh,
no. And the most talked about documentary of 2022, quote, What is a Woman, starring Matt Walsh. Now, I'm in the documentary space. I'm like, maybe I'm not like in it, but like I'm watching it. And I don't think I saw anybody talking about that documentary, but that's okay. He's not the only one in it. He's just directing, writing, and starring in it. but he's not the only one in it. There's also a bunch of guys that have never acted. Ted Cruz is in it.
God.
Yeah, no, it's a banger. Do
I'm
Ben
watching the trailer right
Shapiro?
now.
Ben Shapiro makes a appearance. Jordan Peterson's there.
I'm surprised they didn't get Gina Carano.
I think this is a bit low for her. And I think it's supposed to be like dodgeball or bench warmers. Like if you read the
I gotcha.
comments, are the crazy thing. It's people just like hyped for this movie, and maybe I'm wrong and this movie's gonna be a absolute hoot, but judging by the trailer, it's one joke, and it's one joke said over and over and over again for
Beat into
what
the
I
ground.
what I assume is the entirety of the runtime, and it it likes to, you know, advertise itself as the most triggering comedy of the year, and I'm triggered by that sentence there because I could care less what dumb joke about gender identity that you want to make in 2023. Like it's
Yeah.
2023. Say whatever you want about gender identity. That's the great thing about it. But I what I can't get behind is you acting like there's this massive outrage that you're making this movie when you guys have been making this same joke for 10 years. Like
Yeah.
how many times has this joke been made? And we're sitting here and I got to say like I support it wholeheartedly. If they're going to be making these shitty jokes, I want a shitty movie to go along with it. And they're delivering on that. It comes out December 1st. I will be watching it. I will be doing a video on it. We'll have a little bit of content on it. Not too much, but I think this is going to be one of those movies that really is a cultural point in time where we said, "Hey, you don't need to know anything about movies to make them. Anybody that's got money, make a movie. Let's do it."
Yeah.
And it should be a fun one.
I do not look forward to watching it, but I will. I will suffer through it.
I hope it's mercifully short.
Yeah, it's gotta be like less than 90 minutes.
I don't. I can't see a runtime, but like, I'm just
75 minutes, hopefully, at the
yeah.
most.
Yeah, 70 minutes would be ideal for me there. Maybe even just it's 40 minutes and we call it good. But
Seriously.
yeah, it should be at least interesting from a. I trying to get inside the minds of these people. They've added some tags on the IMDb page of plot key points, which include women's sports, trans, basketball, satire, male to female cross-dressing, men in drag, played for laughs. It's 2023.
Yeah.
But that one will be an interesting one to keep tabs on. It is unfortunately not eligible for this next game because I think it's fair to say that if any critics actually watch this movie, it'll probably be rated pretty low. But I'm willing to bet they probably don't watch this movie. But we're going to be doing a bit of a game here. It's not really going to be something that comes to fruition right now. But as we go through the year, we'll get to see who's better at predicting which movies are going to be good and which movies are going to be bad. So this is something I like to call Rot or Tot, and it is based on the Rotten Tomatoes score of movies that have not come out yet. And how we're going to do this is a little bit of draft. It's going to be 8 picks total. We're each going to get 4 draft picks, and we'll get 2 Rots and 2 Tots, meaning we're going to go basically back and forth saying which movie coming out in December is going to be good, which movie is going to be bad, and we're going to keep track of those and get you a little win-loss record as we go further and further into this little podcast adventure we got going on.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, Trent, you are going to start off. You're going to get the first tot. So, what do you got?
So, I think I am going to go with. Should we predict, like whether or not the audience score is going to be higher or lower than the critic score, just for fun?
Yeah, we can. We can.
I'll go with. I'll go with Ferrari.
Cool.
So Adam Driver movie.
Yeah.
Coming out at the end of the month. It looks like the 20 comes out on Christmas.
Yeah, we got directed by Adam Driver.
Oh damn! I didn't realize that. Yeah, I feel like Adam Driver movies are very like hit or miss at the box office and critically. Like I know that 65 didn't do very well, but what was the other Adam Driver movie? Was he in House of Gucci? No, I don't think so. He's in another movie that I think did well.
Apologies on that. The Screen Rant site that I was looking at just listed the cast in the director column. It is actually directed by Michael Mann. So.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that movie will have a good critic score. No, a good audience score. Maybe not a good critic score.
But you're taking it here, so that means
I'm taking it.
So how this works is if Ferrari is a certified fresh movie, we're gonna be coming back to this at the end of December. If it is certified fresh by then Trent is 1-0. If it is not, he's 0-1. Simple as that. Just for just transparency, we are recording this like on the last day of November, basically, and this episode's going out the first day of December. At this point, there are like a few movies that have already like come out and have a score. That main one being the Godzilla -1. Currently, it's sitting at 100% on Rotten Tomato with like 30 reviews. So good for them. But that one's not eligible, obviously, because it's already out right now. So chill. And that comes to me then. I'm gonna take what I thought you were gonna take. It seems like a absolute miss. It's almost like it's the fantasy football draft all over again, Trent. Number one, we're taking the Iron Claw. Like, that's the number one tot of the year right there.
It's facts.
Yeah.
Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White.
Jaw is
gonna be a good movie.
Gonna be.
We got to get a We got to get a compilation of it every time we've said Jeremy Allen White.
We'll let it go on for a few more months. I think we're probably at the 50th mention on like 6 episodes, so we're pacing pretty well. And this is going to be. Oh dang! Wow, time flies. Now we have for this we're going to be doing a snake draft, which means I'm going to pick twice in a row. So you pick the first tot, I'll pick the first rot, kind of thing. And I'm going to be going with, just gotta stay on brand with myself and take Aquaman, the Lost Kingdom as my rot.
Yeah. It's gonna be bad.
But what do you got for your rot?
I got Illumination's new movie, Migration.
Oh,
so it's
okay.
An animated movie coming out.
Yeah.
This season or this year, this month, but it does not do it for me.
It's Illumination obviously has a kind of spotty track record, but a lot of their stuff is better than you kind of assume.
Yeah.
Really, all they have in terms of like critical acclaim is, I guess, like the Despicable Me movies, depending on
Super Mario.
Yeah.
did really well.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah, I could see that. I think I guess I gotta see when Garfield comes out.
I don't think that's till next year.
Oh dang. Yeah, that would have been a solid one. Uh okay. Cool. So we'll go ahead and just do, because I was thinking about it, it doesn't really make sense to do uh like full snake. So now I'll pick Tot first here.
Okay.
And then you'll pick your Tot and Rot, and then I'll pick my Rot.
Okay.
So to recap, my Tot I went with is the A24 film The Iron Claw, starring Jeremy Allen White, of course. And the Rot that I went with was Aquaman The Lost Kingdom. And Trent?
I picked Ferrari as my Tot, and I picked Migration from Elimination as my Rot, because I do not think that movie is going to be very good.
Yeah. All right. So for my Tot, I am for my second Tot, I am going with a bit of a risk, but you know, you don't rotten Tot without, rolling up the sleeves and just letting one fly every once in a while. So for my Tot, we're going with Wonka.
Okay. He's going to do well.
It is not the most anticipated movie. A lot of people pretty sour from the last Willy Wonka reboot, but this one's going to be different. We're not making the same mistakes twice.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it does, because I feel like a lot of people like Timothy Chalamet. A lot of people are attached to the Willy Wonka like IP,
Mm-hmm.
and I like Paddington, so I feel like it's got a recipe for good box office numbers.
I've only ever, from that director, I've only ever seen Paddington 1 and 2. So that's all I have to go off of, and those are two of the greatest movies that I've ever watched.
What's his name?
Yeah,
Paul
let's
something.
let's give him an actual name drop here.
Paul King. I was right.
Paul King.
His name starts with Paul.
Okay.
So shout out Paul King for Paddington 1 and Paddington 2.
And if you haven't seen Paddington 1 or Paddington 2, get on that. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you think it's a talking bear movie and you don't like movies like that. Just watch the movie. Just watch it. All right, Trent, give me your Tot, and then after that, you'll have a Rot.
All right. So my Tot is going to be So I got Ferrari, and let's go with I'm gonna take a flyer on this one too, and I'm gonna do the rom com with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, called Anyone But You. So this movie had a bunch of like press surrounding it, because I believe it was Glenn Powell. He had like a girlfriend or something before they started filming this movie, and then he went and did this rom com, and was essentially like method acting, like he was like dating Sydney Sweeney on the set, and it became a huge like press thing, and people were wondering like, is this like fabricated? Is this not? The first trailer dropped and it looked really bad, and then the second trailer came out and it looked fine. Maybe this is a movie that will surprisingly get a good Rotten Tomato score.
I can get with it. I think that means we're done with our Tots here, and I'm a bit surprised it could still be your Rot. Neither one of us picked The Color Purple, which is seems to be the most anticipated movie of the month in terms of just like what's gonna do well box office wise. It's like a remake of a book of an 80s movie, big and Oprah Winfrey producer credit. It's a high anticipation for that movie. I just didn't know enough about it to hitch my wagon to it, and I'd rather hitch my wagon to Wonka, so that's why I didn't go with that one, if you're curious.
Yeah, I was trying to go with movies that I knew more about. I wasn't sure. I wasn't too familiar with The Color Purple, and I didn't want to speak badly about it when I hadn't seen the trailer or hadn't seen anything about it. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now you got a rot here. Where are you going?
I think that Wonka will not do good.
Ooh.
So I'm going against you on that one.
We got a little bit of a rot tot off, or I'll figure out a word for it. But this means there's going to be no undefeated after this. One of us is going to lose here, and this might be the tiebreaker. You're going with Wonka. It's going to be rotten.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the right choice with critics at this point. I could definitely see that. Why did you make that call there?
I don't know. I just got a hunch.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I've heard good early reviews, but I just don't know if it's gonna if the critics are gonna like it, and if it's gonna. I know this isn't a box office game, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna do a whole lot at the box office.
If it was a box office game, I'd be screwed because I have no idea what's going on with the box office right now. It is a confusing thing. I don't know what movies are going to succeed or not. We're definitely going through a transitionary period. I feel like I was on it like a couple of years ago. Like if a movie came out, I was like, oh, that movie's going to do good. Oh, that movie will do bad. Now I just have no idea. It's kind of just like The Color Purple apparently is supposed to be this big box office hit. And I hadn't even heard of it until I started looking into movies for today.
Yeah.
So that shows what realm I'm in. But I'm on my last rot, and I gotta just keep the hate train going. And I'm gonna go with Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire.
I totally forgot about that.
So my two rots are off of the back of Zack Snyder. One much less involved than the other, but he does still have his fingerprints at least on that universe. But I'm sure that movie's trying to distance itself. But Rebel Moon, I don't really know anything about it. I probably won't watch it. It looks like a generic action sci-fi thing. Like maybe the most generic action sci-fi thing to come out since Ender's Game. And that was based on a popular book.
Yeah, I mean it's certainly going to be a movie that's going to come out. Army of the Dead was something else. Zack Snyder movies are always like they're always like entertaining to watch because they're either like I mean like entertaining as in like they're just like they're bad.
Yeah. Oh,
but not the Snyder cut, not the Snyder.
Yeah, there are some that are just like
so
a slog.
Sluggish.
Yeah, like Batman v Superman really is just a slog from start to finish. It's rough. But I get what you're saying with like Man of Steel is kind of like just interesting in a way.
Yeah,
and
300 you could say is kind of
300 as well.
Entertaining.
I just don't think his style works with like sci-fi. I don't think it works with superheroes. I think it works a lot better with like a 300 setting, like Melee, just like tough dudes being tough dudes in a field fighting each other. It's just very Zack Snyder. I don't know. I just don't think his world building is all that.
Yeah.
Like,
and especially since this is his rejected Star Wars pitch turned into a movie. So he met with Lucasfilm back in like 2010 or something, and they're like, this is just not a good idea. And then he took it, put it on the back burner, and then apparently when Netflix told him that he could do anything he wants, he was like, you know what? Let me just dust off that old script that I have back in my closet.
I love how every like financial report like you get about Netflix is, Netflix is just hemorrhaging money, and then you hear stuff like that, and you're like, what the fuck?
They're giving $300 million to Zack Snyder to make him build out this universe that nobody wants.
They're like so set on this being like a big franchise for them.
Yeah,
like it seems if you're going to put this type of money in it, you're going to put part 1 in the title. Basically, I mean, I know they've already recorded, like it's coming out, like it's almost like a mini series. It's weird, but Not into it, but I guess we'll see. And if I'm wrong, I'll get a big L next to my name for that one. I got, I got the Iron Claw and Wonka on my side, and
I got Ferrari, and I got the Sydney Sweeney movie called Anyone But You.
Anyone But You.
Yep.
These rom-com titles are getting tough. They're just full
Yeah.
sentences at this point. And then for my rots, I'm going with the Snyder cut of rots and the Rebel Moon and Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom.
And I'm doing Migration and Wonka as mine.
Wonka.
Was I supposed to pick 3?
No, just two
okay.
each. I wasn't sure if there was enough movies that we would each have like 3 like strong opinions, and it feels like 2's right. But if there's a big slate coming up any random month, we can kind of determine that from there. But those are our picks for December. Make sure to check back next month to see our picks for January, as well as seeing how these ones turned out, as well as checking back weekly for each episode of the pod. We're going to be releasing more like YouTube style content. I'm sure you've seen the trailer reactions come up on the channel. Those are kind of just like some chill stuff that we're doing, but we're going to do a bit more edited content, hopefully with some, video essay type stuff. We'll get into it. Yeah. But I want to thank everybody for watching. We're coming up on right about that time, so hope you have a great night, and we will see everyone next week, bright and early.
Thank you all for listening. See you next week.
Thank you. Peace.